All right. So here we have Wormion. This is our first boss for Super Dungeon Maker. Now, there's a couple of things to talk about before we even show him off. He has 3 phases. The first phase is 2 hits, the second phase is another 2 hits, and the third phase is another 2 hits to defeat him, for a total of 6 hits. This creature, between hits, has a rage mode where it goes invincible and it attacks you. So you can't damage it, but it can hurt you. Now, every 2 hits, it has a trigger. So there's a 1, a 2, and a 3. So after the first 2 hits, whatever you have set to 1 will trigger. Then the next 2 hits, for a total of 4, will trigger the 2. So whatever you have set on 2 will trigger. And lastly, number 3, after another 2 hits for a total of 6, will trigger the final trigger that you set for 3. So with that being said, let's get into the little demonstration that I made here. It might look a little bit overwhelming or clustered for some people who are new, but it'll explain itself very quickly. So here's our boss, Wormion, and I have him trapped in 4. Obviously, I can count 4 blue blocks, so he can't go anywhere. I'll show you. If I go in here, I have him trapped. He can't go anywhere. Normally, when you enter the room, he's just like any other mob or creature in this game. He runs around the room and attacks you. But for this example, I have him trapped because it makes a pretty good display of what you can do with him. So on trigger 1, you'll see that those blocks are all on 1, and this door is also on 1. So after the first 2 hits, this door opens, and below these blue blocks are despawners. So if you can already see what's going to happen, then you got a quick mind. So I got him trapped. There's 1 hit. He's still in rage mode. There you go. Now I can hit him again. And there's 2 hits. Now it releases him from the cage that I put him in. I think that's pretty cool. Pretty cool for setup for number 1. So there's that. The door opens and go in here and nothing's set up. Alright. So there's an example of how to set up the first one. Now, after 4 hits, so another 2 hits in that battle, number 2 is going to trigger. So what I have is these little stone traps that go back and forth across the map or across the dungeon. I have them set on number 2. So after 4 hits, these spawn, and it makes it more difficult in the area to fight him with having these things flying around all over the place. And then finally, number 3. So after 6 hits, he'll die, and then the third channel will trigger, which is this door, which is supposed to give you the bombs. So then, just as an example, you finally get the bombs, and it's also going to spawn. These are all spawners. It's also going to spawn the golden egg in bombable stone. So basically, the whole idea of this would be to kill him, and then get the bomb, and then blow up the bomb and get the golden egg. It's just like a quick example of what to do with him. So also on 3, I have these laser totems. They spawn, so that basically the difficulty is increasing each level until you finally beat him, and then it's the hardest to get the egg. That's the whole setup. I'll show you how it plays out, just so you guys understand. Something to also talk about too is the things you can use against him. The dash feather, you can obviously dash roll, which has iframes or invincibility frames. The shield, which you can block with. The bomb, you can hurt him with. The grappling hook does nothing to Wormion. You can't stun him, and you can't grab onto him, you can't damage him. And believe it or not, the pots are a good weapon against Wormion. Alright, so this is just like a mock boss battle. So I got 2 hits on him, now he's out of his cage. I'll show you the pots, they're pretty good. There you go, there's 1 hit. Missed him. Oops, 1 more pot. Got him. There, number 2, see? Now it becomes more difficult. Okay, 1 more hit. Alright, there we go. So, pretend you're getting the bombs. Oh yeah, I got the bombs now, and boom. Try not to die in my own dungeon. Boom, there you go. And that's basically a little mock-up of Wormion. So there's obviously a whole bunch of different things you can do. This is just a quick example of the setups just to make him into like a boss. You can also use him as a regular mob in dungeons, obviously. You can even use him without any triggers and just have him as a you know, a character to fight in a dungeon. That as well. Definitely really good to use with triggers though. You can obviously use them with levers, spawners, despawners, area spawners, all that cool jazz. Have fun, guys.